Have you ever felt like no matter how much you try, you just can't figure her out? Like there's an unspoken language you're missing? Today, we're breaking the silence. I'm going to tell you what women want men to understand, things nobody talks about, but if you get this right, it can change everything. This isn't advice you'll hear at parties, on social media, or even from your friends. This is real, unfiltered truth about her heart, her mind, and her world. Many men grow up with the idea that emotions are a sign of weakness, that crying, sadness, or even expressing vulnerability makes someone less capable, less strong. But for women, emotions are not a flaw. They are a language, a way of experiencing and interacting with the world that is both natural and essential. When a woman cries, it's not because she cannot handle life, it's because she feels life deeply. She carries joy, sorrow, excitement, and disappointment in a way that often overwhelms the surface but reveals a richness beneath. These emotions are not random or irrational. They are signals, guides, and expressions of her inner self. Understanding this is the first step toward truly connecting with her. It is not about fixing her or telling her to calm down or stop overthinking. It is about acknowledging that her emotional responses are valid, meaningful, and deserve space, attention, and respect. When a woman shares her feelings, she is trusting you with her inner world, a world that is complex, layered, and sometimes frightening even to herself. To dismiss, belittle, or ignore this is to create distance. To listen, to validate, to sit in her feelings with her, that is strength, and it is rare. Emotions are often misunderstood because society encourages women to hide them, to suppress what they feel in order to appear strong or acceptable. This suppression is painful and exhausting. When a woman finally allows herself to express what she feels, it is a moment of courage, not weakness. She is exposing her heart, opening herself to vulnerability, and trusting that someone will hold that space without judgment or ridicule. Men who understand this realize that emotional expression is not a burden. It is an opportunity to connect on a deeper level. It is a chance to witness her humanity, to see the layers of experience and thought that shape her reactions. And when you respond with patience and empathy instead of criticism or impatience, you are not only respecting her, but also demonstrating a different kind of strength, one that is quiet, resilient, and profoundly necessary in any meaningful relationship. Women's emotions also carry wisdom. The sadness she feels after a disappointment is a reflection of what she values and what she hopes for. The excitement she shows over small joys is a testament to her gratitude and capacity for happiness. Frustration and anger are not attacks. They are signals that boundaries have been crossed, expectations unmet, or needs ignored. By learning to recognize these emotions as communication rather than conflict, men can navigate relationships with far more understanding and intention. Emotional awareness is not about controlling or solving every feeling. It is about presence. It is about sitting beside her when she is hurting, celebrating with her when she is joyful, and simply being willing to experience life through her lens for a moment. When men begin to see emotions not as obstacles or weaknesses, but as expressions of depth, authenticity, and humanity, the dynamic of the relationship shifts entirely. It becomes less about performance or proving oneself and more about genuine connection, mutual respect, and shared understanding. Communication is the foundation of every meaningful relationship, yet it is often the aspect most misunderstood or overlooked. Many men believe that love is proven through grand gestures, material gifts, or acts of service, but for women, communication carries far more weight than anything tangible. It is not about talking for the sake of talking or delivering words that sound sweet but lack sincerity. It is about expressing thoughts, feelings, intentions, and vulnerabilities in a way that is consistent, honest, and transparent. When a woman shares her dreams, her fears, or even the smallest moments of her day, she is offering a window into her inner world, trusting that you will listen and respond with presence, not judgment. Communication is not just verbal, it is emotional, it is behavioral. It is the unspoken understanding that your words and actions align, that your promises are not empty, and that she can rely on the consistency of what you express. Without this alignment, confusion and doubt seep into the relationship, eroding trust and creating invisible walls between hearts. Many men underestimate the power of clarity in communication. Women do not expect perfection, but they do expect honesty. When feelings are withheld, thoughts are left unsaid, or intentions are ambiguous, she senses the gap and it creates insecurity. Small moments like explaining why you were late, sharing your plans for the future, or admitting when you are wrong have a profound impact because they demonstrate respect for her perspective and her right to understand your world. Silence or avoidance is often misinterpreted as indifference, but women read between the lines. They notice patterns, inconsistencies, and half truths. Effective communication is not a single conversation. It is a habit, a continuous effort to ensure that your words carry meaning and that your actions reflect them. When you invest in this effort, it signals that you value not only the relationship, but also her emotional safety, creating a space where she can be fully herself without fear of being misunderstood or dismissed. Another dimension of communication is listening, and it is as crucial as speaking. Many men listen to respond, to correct, or to prove a point, but women listen for connection, and they expect the same in return. When she shares her feelings, her frustrations, or even her joys, she is seeking understanding, empathy, and acknowledgement. Listening with patience, without interrupting or minimizing, validates her experience and reinforces the bond between you. It is in these moments of shared attention that intimacy is built, where emotional walls soften and genuine closeness develops. Communication is also about timing and tone. What is said in haste, anger, or frustration can wound more deeply than silence. Choosing your words carefully, speaking with intention, and being mindful of your delivery shows not just respect, but care. In essence, communication is the bridge that connects two hearts, the pathway through which trust, love, and understanding flow freely, and the tool that allows both partners to navigate the complexities of life together. In relationships, many men often think that grand gestures, extravagant gifts, or dramatic declarations of love are the most important ways to show they care. But for women, it is the small actions, the quiet, consistent, and thoughtful moments that truly carry meaning. A simple message asking about her day, a cup of coffee made just the way she likes it, or remembering the little things she mentioned in passing can speak louder than any grand gesture ever could. These small actions show attentiveness, consideration, and genuine care. They communicate that you notice her, that you value her feelings, and that she is present in your mind even when she is not around. Women tend to experience love and attention through these subtle, everyday gestures, and when they are absent, it often feels as though something essential is missing, even if nothing seems wrong on the surface. Small actions also demonstrate thoughtfulness and emotional intelligence. When a man remembers her favorite song, takes note of what makes her happy or uncomfortable, or steps in to support her during a stressful moment without being asked, it reveals that he is attuned to her needs. It is not about performing or trying to impress. It is about genuinely seeing her and responding in ways that make her feel understood and valued. These actions may appear insignificant in isolation: a text to check on her, a smile when she walks into the room, a hand offered in a quiet moment, but their accumulation creates a profound sense of connection. Women often interpret these small details as evidence of love that is consistent, sincere, and deeply rooted in attention rather than superficial effort. In many cases, these little acts of care leave a more lasting impression than moments of dramatic intensity because they are woven into the everyday fabric of life and create a sense of reliability and emotional safety. Another aspect of small actions is that they reflect intention. Love is not only about feelings, but about the choices we make daily to nurture and sustain a relationship. When a man goes out of his way to listen when she talks, offers help without being prompted, or simply acknowledges her presence with kindness and patience, it shows that he is actively investing in the relationship. These small moments signal that he respects her, values her happiness, and is willing to contribute to her well being without expecting anything in return. Women notice patterns, not isolated events, and when these patterns are filled with small, consistent gestures, they feel cared for in a way that is authentic and meaningful. Even the smallest gestures carry emotional weight when they are genuine. Sending a message to say, "I'm thinking of you," preparing her favorite meal, or holding her hand during a moment of vulnerability conveys empathy and attentiveness. It is not about the size of the action, but the thought and love behind it. These moments create a rhythm of connection, trust, and intimacy that builds the foundation of a healthy, enduring relationship. They remind her that she is seen, valued, and cherished on a level that goes beyond words, beyond grand declarations, and into the realm of lived, felt experience. Independence is one of the most important aspects of a woman's life, yet it is often misunderstood or undervalued in relationships. Many men assume that closeness means dependency or that love is measured by how intertwined two lives become. But for women, independence is not a lack of love. It is the foundation upon which genuine love can grow. A woman's independence is her identity, her sense of self, her dreams, and her ability to navigate the world on her own terms. When a man respects her independence, he acknowledges that she is a whole, capable individual who does not need to sacrifice her ambitions, friendships, or personal space to maintain a relationship. Independence is about choice, freedom, and self respect, and understanding this is essential for building a partnership that is not based on control or ownership, but on mutual admiration, trust, and support. Women cherish relationships that allow them to flourish rather than restrict them. When a man tries to control her choices, dictate her friendships, or make her feel guilty for pursuing her goals, it creates tension and resentment. On the other hand, when he celebrates her victories, encourages her ambitions, and gives her the space to grow, it strengthens the bond in ways that grand gestures or declarations of love cannot. Independence also allows women to maintain their sense of identity within a relationship. She does not want to be defined solely by her partner's expectations, and she does not want her life to revolve entirely around someone else's world. She wants to contribute, participate, and share, but not at the cost of losing herself. Respecting this need for autonomy is a form of love that demonstrates maturity, understanding, and emotional intelligence. Independence is not just about career goals or personal hobbies. It is also about emotional boundaries and self-sufficiency. A woman who is independent does not expect her partner to complete her, fix her, or carry her emotional burdens alone. She seeks companionship, partnership, and love, but she does so as a complete person with her own strength, resilience, and inner resources. This is not a challenge to men. It is an opportunity to engage in a relationship where both partners are whole, self-aware, and capable of supporting each other without dependency turning into suffocation. Independence also allows for healthy space, which is essential for intimacy to thrive. When she has the freedom to breathe, explore, and express herself fully, she brings authenticity and depth to the relationship. A man who understands the importance of independence also learns to trust. Independence and trust go hand in hand because when a woman is given space to live her life, pursue her goals, and make her own decisions, it requires faith that she is committed to the relationship by choice, not by constraint. This trust fosters a partnership that is built on respect rather than control, encouragement rather than limitation, and love that is freely given rather than forced. Independence allows women to engage in relationships as equals, bringing their unique perspectives, passions, and strengths into a union that is collaborative, supportive, and empowering. Trust is one of the most delicate and essential components of any relationship, yet it is often taken for granted until it is broken. For women, trust is not something they hand out easily. It is earned through consistency, honesty, and the quiet demonstration of integrity over time. Every word spoken, every promise made, every action taken contributes to the building or the erosion of this trust. When a man is reliable, transparent, and genuine, a woman feels safe to open her heart, to share her fears, dreams, and vulnerabilities without hesitation. But the moment dishonesty, betrayal, or even small inconsistencies enter the picture, that safety begins to crumble. Trust is fragile because it is built on the understanding that both partners will honor each other's emotions and boundaries. Once that understanding is broken, the damage lingers far beyond the immediate act, and rebuilding it requires patience, humility, and sincere effort. Women are particularly attuned to subtle cues that indicate whether someone is trustworthy. It is not just the major betrayals that leave a mark, but the small, seemingly insignificant moments where honesty or integrity is compromised. A broken promise, a careless lie, or repeated neglect can chip away at trust slowly, leaving her feeling uncertain and cautious. She notices patterns more than isolated incidents, reading between the lines and paying attention to what is consistent in words and actions. Trust, for her, is not just about believing what you say. It is about feeling confident in the reliability of your presence, the authenticity of your intentions, and the alignment between your actions and your words. When trust is nurtured, it creates a sense of security and emotional intimacy that allows a woman to fully engage in the relationship without fear or doubt. Another layer of trust is emotional transparency. Women value partners who are willing to be vulnerable, who admit mistakes, who communicate openly, and who do not shy away from difficult conversations. Hiding feelings, withholding truth, or avoiding accountability not only weakens trust, but also creates distance and tension. Trust is fragile because it depends on mutual vulnerability, the willingness to expose the heart without fear of judgment or abandonment. When a woman senses that a man is dishonest, manipulative, or dismissive of her emotions, it shakes the foundation of that vulnerability, making it harder for her to fully invest emotionally. Trust is also tested by consistency over time. It is not enough to apologize once or act faithfully sporadically. It is the day-to-day choices, the repeated demonstration of reliability, and the conscious effort to honor commitments that strengthen trust. Women remember when promises are kept, when honesty is prioritized over convenience, and when respect is shown even in small, private moments. The fragility of trust serves as a reminder that love alone cannot sustain a relationship. It must be supported by integrity, accountability, and respect, without which connection begins to weaken and emotional closeness fades. Many people believe that love is measured by grand gestures, dramatic declarations, or constant verbal affirmation. But for women, love is often found in quiet, consistent, and subtle ways. It is not always in the words shouted across rooms or the gifts displayed on special occasions. It is in the patience shown during moments of struggle, the presence offered when life feels overwhelming, and the small, thoughtful actions repeated over time. Women notice the silent support, the gentle consistency, and the unobtrusive acts of care that demonstrate commitment without demanding attention. Love, in its truest form, is often soft, steady, and unassuming. It does not need an audience or validation because it is expressed naturally through respect, attentiveness, and reliability. While society may celebrate loud, overt expressions of affection, women often measure love by the emotional safety, stability, and authenticity that comes from quiet devotion. Quiet love manifests in ways that are easy to overlook but impossible to forget. It is in the way he listens without interrupting when she shares her thoughts, allowing her voice to be heard and her feelings to be validated. It is in the moments he notices her mood and offers comfort without being asked, or remembers the small details she casually mentions in conversation. These gestures may seem ordinary, but they communicate that she is valued, seen, and understood. Women often recognize that these small, consistent actions carry more meaning than dramatic gestures because they require attention, intention, and awareness. When love is loud, it can be performative or fleeting, but when it is quiet, it endures. It is the steady heartbeat beneath the chaos of daily life, the reassurance that she is not navigating her world alone and that someone is committed to her well being without making a show of it. Another aspect of quiet love is emotional resilience. It is not always about passionate moments or declarations of I love you in every conversation. It is about staying present during challenging times, offering support without seeking reward, and prioritizing her needs without being asked. Women feel deeply when they experience this kind of love because it reflects genuine intention rather than obligation. It demonstrates that love is not conditional, performative, or transactional, but enduring and selfless. This silent devotion is often more powerful than words because it builds trust, creates emotional intimacy, and fosters a sense of security that loud declarations cannot replicate. Quiet love also thrives in consistency. It is in showing up when it matters most, in keeping promises, in offering patience during mistakes, and in choosing her again and again without fanfare. Women remember these moments because they reveal the true nature of a partner's heart. They notice the patience in listening, the empathy in understanding, and the steadfastness in support. And these qualities become the foundation for long-lasting intimacy. Love, when quiet, becomes woven into the very fabric of daily life, transforming ordinary moments into profound expressions of care, devotion, and understanding. When we step back and look at what truly matters in understanding women, a clear pattern emerges. Love, respect, and connection are not about grand gestures or loud declarations. They are built in the quiet moments, in the little things that show attention and care, in honesty and integrity, in honoring her independence, and in valuing her emotions as a strength rather than a weakness. It is in listening when she speaks, showing up when it matters most, and creating a space where she feels seen, safe, and understood. Trust, once earned, is precious, and it must be nurtured with patience, consistency, and sincerity. Understanding women is not about decoding a mystery. It is about recognizing the depth of their hearts, the intelligence of their minds, and the subtle ways they express love and hope. It is about embracing vulnerability, respecting individuality, and responding to her with empathy and awareness. The small actions, the quiet support, and the unwavering presence are what build a bond that is resilient, meaningful, and lasting. If men can learn to see beyond the surface, to honor emotions, communicate openly, and cherish the subtle rhythms of love, relationships transform from fleeting connections into deep partnerships. It is not complicated, it simply requires attention, respect, and the willingness to engage fully in the world of someone else's heart. Because when these elements are understood and practiced, love becomes not just a feeling, but a living, breathing experience that grows stronger with every thoughtful word, every gentle gesture, and every act of genuine care.